for me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through all ages and all of life's stages. You bring me around to find my release.
Hi, welcome to be my guest today. We have Colin McCullough. Did I say that right?
McCullough.
McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
He is now the author of the Healthy Vegan Cookbook. Now, you are considered a chef, and you also give presentations about this.
I do.
Now, welcome. How did you get into this, vegan?
Well, I've been vegan for about 25 years now. And so I have two boys who are 17 and 20, and so they've always been vegan. They've grown up vegan.
Yeah.
And, it's one thing for me to try and eat healthy, but, for them to try and get my kids to eat healthy food
sure.
in the wake of everything that's out there, then, the recipes that I would make, the recipes that I would write that, would get the kids to ask for more, to have something like kale, something really healthy, but ask for more.
Yeah.
Those would be the recipes that I would save. So over time, I, kind of built up a book full of recipes. And then as I've been teaching cooking classes, then people have been asking me, you need a book, you need a book.
Where have you been teaching, Colin?
I teach a lot at local libraries. So in Worcester and Sutton, the libraries have a pretty busy adult ed program,
sure.
and so
Senior centers would be great too.
Yep.
And bookstores.
Yes, yeah. I've been trying with the bookstores. It's hard to
That's
get.
That's why I help authors with what I do. But it's a challenge. But I always say, if you haven't heard back when you sent them an email and this is what I do and I'd like to appear there, if you haven't heard in 3 days, pick up the phone. I always provide them with their contacts and their phone. Pick that phone up and say, "Hi, I had sent you an email. I wondered if you got it." Yeah. Squeaky wheel. You've got to be in this world. You've got to be.
Right.
How long? When did you start writing the Healthy Vegan Cookbook?
It took about a year to write. I started it several years ago. So it took about a year to write and recipe test everything. It was largely a collection of recipes that I had already written, but the way that I cook, I just kind of throw, different things in. I don't measure everything. So, part of the process was just having to measure everything out to do that. But it took about a year to write it, and then it was about a year and a half before it was published. I had to go through editing process.
Oh, you didn't self-publish?
No.
Oh, well, you took the hard way. Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Did you design, or did they design the cover for you?
I had a friend of mine does photography, and then also my sister-in-law. She's a professional graphic designer. So between the two of them.
One thing I know that's supposed to be very healthy is walnuts. I don't know. What's that other one that's kind of wrinkly?
Like pecans?
Maybe that's what it is.
It looks like walnuts.
I can't get into walnuts. Pecans are pretty cool. They're kind of like little and wrinkly or whatever. I love the taste of that, but I noticed that walnuts are showing up in a lot of things now. They're very healthy, right, Colin?
Yeah.
So you got into this
25 years ago.
25. Were your parents vegans?
They were not. No. I went to New England Conservatory in Boston. And so the school is actually, the cafeteria was largely vegetarian.
Wow.
There's a lot of Asian students there, so they kind of cater to that. So
was that a high school?
College, yeah.
Where was it? Where was it again?
New England Conservatory in Boston.
Now, of course, I've heard of Johnson & Wales a lot. And, of course, Blackstone Valley Tech, they have their own restaurant. Did you know?
Yes.
Have you been over there?
I haven't, no.
Oh my God! They're teaching kids in high school now about this. If that's your love, that's what they do. So you majored in that in Boston.
Well, I went to New England Conservatory to learn how to tune pianos. So many years ago and careers ago, that's what I started with.
Yeah. And then, what made you want to do this though? What got you to write the book on it?
Well, I'm teaching the classes. In the classes that I do, I usually teach 4 different recipes. And so people were coming to a class, and then they would want to come to another one to learn some more recipes. And it's a very inefficient way to do it when you have hundreds of recipes, but people can only do it 4 at a time. So, again, people are asking me to write a cookbook, and also it was a way for me to be able to put all the recipes together in one place for myself,
Yeah.
which was a huge help, but then also for my boys, as they kind of grow up and move off into the world. Then, I as they grew up, I was doing a lot of the cooking, and so I make the food that they're used to, that they grew up with, and so I wanted them to be able to have those recipes as well.
Is it similar to a Mediterranean diet?
In Mediterranean diet, they typically don't eat a lot of meat, so it is more plant-based than in America. But in the Mediterranean diet, they do use a lot of oil. Cook with a lot of oil.
I like olive oil. It's supposed to be very good for you, right? Am I right?
I'd argue with that. So
You would?
I actually don't use hardly any oil
You
when
don't?
I cook.
Okay.
No.
They've been urging us, I've seen it for years, virgin olive oil.
Right.
Extra virgin olive oil. I use it when I bake, that type of thing. But you don't think oil is that great?
No.
Why not? What is it, clog arteries or something?
Well, oil is pretty much the most concentrated source of calories and fat that you can get. It's pure fat. So, there are other ways, like in the book, I have a lot of recipes that use blended, like cashews, for example. That gives it the same kind of creaminess, but cashews versus using the same amount of olive oil has about 1/5 of the fat and the calories. And
Wow.
in something like a salad dressing or, in different sauces that I make,
Sure.
then if you use the nuts instead of using oil, the consistency is the same. Makes it creamy,
Yeah.
but without all of the extra fat and calories.
I didn't know that. We're talking with Colin McCullough, right?
Colin McCullough.
Was that originally Mac? Are you Scottish or Irish?
I'm Scottish.
Aha, I thought so because the O-U-G-H, I have too. O-U-G-H at the end, I thought, I wonder if somebody made it smaller, make instead of the Mac,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So who was it, your dad?
It's many, many generations ago. Yeah, but
Scotland.
actually, I just went a couple of months ago to Scotland.
You did? What
Yes.
part did you go to?
I went to Edinburgh, just to the main city. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Did you trace your clan? Because my clan, Lewis, is also, in those days, there would be two other families, like the McLeods and the Harrises are part of the Lewis clan. Is the Isle of Lewis? Did you go over there?
We only had a couple of days, so we weren't there for genealogy, but it is all mapped out. Fortunately, people in my family before me, they did all the research and everything. So.
Wonder why they changed it from Mac to Mick.
We were one of the families that were forced to move from Scotland to Ireland.
Oh,
so
okay.
integrated.
I think they ended up in Nova Scotia, New Scotland. They ended
Okay.
up there. Now, whether they were chased out from Scotland, or they could be Welsh too in there, from Wales, I don't know, but there's something in that history. Why would they end up over,
Right.
You think they would go to New York, Ellis Island? No, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And it means New Scotland. We are talking with Colin McCullough, I got that name right. The Healthy Vegan Cookbook, a new system of whole food, plant-based eating. I think of a rabbit. I think of a bunny rabbit. And my guinea pigs used to love it. If we didn't finish our salad, we'd give the rest to the guinea pig.
Right.
Plant-based is a big thing now. We're going to have a botanist on, and I thought, boy, same type of great kind of cooking as like you do. Did you have to study botany at all?
Oh, no.
No. You just... What are your favorite things to use that are plant-based?
Well, I make a lot of smoothies for
Yeah.
breakfast. That's usually what I have for breakfast, and there's 30 different smoothie recipes in the book.
What's your favorite one?
The Black Forest smoothie is
What's
my
that?
favorite. So that's chocolate cherry. So it's...
Oh, you said
it
chocolate
tastes-
to a girl? Yeah.
It tastes like dessert,
Yeah.
but it's using all whole food, healthy ingredients. So, to start my day with something, that tastes like dessert,
Yeah.
but is actually really healthy, that's great. So, uses, a lot of frozen cherries, frozen bananas, some almonds, some cacao, which is basically cocoa powder, same, except it's not baked or processed, so it's raw.
In a blender, right?
Yeah.
In a blender.
In a blender.
What about those of us, I don't know if I need it or not, but I've been getting Lactaid. Can you use Lactaid? It's a form of, it's milk, but without the lactose if
Right.
you're intolerant. They can use that instead of skim milk or whatever, whole milk in here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, with the book, I'm definitely trying to promote away from using any dairy, any animal products. So, when I make a smoothie, for example, I'll put in some almonds. I might put in some oats with 2 cups of water.
Sure.
Blend that first, and so essentially you are making almond milk on the spot. You're making fresh almond milk.
How did you do that again? You put them in the blender. How did you do it?
Yep. So, like with the Black Forest smoothie, for
Yeah.
example, I'll put in about 1/3 of a cup of almonds, and then 2 cups of water.
Okay.
I'll blend that for a few minutes, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients to that and make that as a smoothie. Whereas if you were to buy almond milk at the store, then they've basically done the same thing with the water and the almonds, but then they strain out all of the pulp.
Yeah.
But that's actually what gives you satiety. What keeps you full all morning. That's where all the fiber is.
Protein?
That's where a lot of the nutrients are.
Protein, right?
Yeah.
I know if I skip protein, I was raised always at breakfast. That was it. Mom would, before school, I'd have an egg toast, But
Right.
I know if I don't have protein at breakfast, I don't feel so hot in a few hours. I think my sugar starts to drop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just one of those people, I'm very sensitive, just even a mild, normal drop. Oh, I start to feel it. Colin, how can they get your book?
So the book is mainly sold on Amazon.
Okay.
So if you look up the Healthy Vegan Cookbook, then you can find it there, or with my name. And then also at different events that I do, cooking demos and classes. And
What's coming up next?
Well, I have a few coming up this weekend. I'm going to be down in Providence in a couple weeks.
Where at Providence?
At Plant City on November 9th.
Plant City?
Yeah. So
actually, a flower or a plant store?
No, Plant City is a restaurant conglomerate.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I believe there are 2 or 3 restaurants in the building.
Yeah.
It's by Matthew Kenny. He's a national chef. He owns 100 different restaurants.
How did he hear about you? Or did you go to him?
I actually contacted them because I know that they teach classes there in addition to the restaurants.
Yeah.
And so I asked them if I would be able to come down for that, and they said sure.
I wonder what would happen if you contacted BVT, Blackstone Valley Tech over here.
Yeah.
What about, would Johnson and Wales, are they very territorial? They wouldn't let anybody else come in, or would they love to hear your...
Oh, I don't know.
Wow. I think that's amazing. So, all right, you've presented at libraries and restaurants. I'm amazed that the restaurants are open enough to this. Does it have to be a specialized restaurant or just anywhere if they like it?
Well, there's a restaurant I'm actually going to be doing a 5-course vegan meal at next week. That's going to be next Tuesday or Wednesday the 30th.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in West Roxbury at West On Center.
Yeah.
And so I know the head chef at the restaurant. He and I have been friends for a long time. And so when the book came out, then he said, would you be willing? He said, we're not a vegan restaurant.
Yeah.
And he said, this is kind of outside of my experience. So he said, would you be willing to come in? And he said, you can be cooking in a restaurant. We can do this meal together, and we can kind of both learn from each other. So, yeah.
I love the openness. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that happens more and more because we're hearing a lot about getting more of the green stuff into us, the
Right.
veggies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like chicken. I like tuna fish. I like salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Steak if you can afford it. I don't think I'll ever go off them totally, but I am trying to beef up my salads a little bit.
Sure.
More with celeries and, broccoli. Locally, we had done, what was it called? Paul, do you remember the name of the lettuce guy? Little Leaf Lettuce. They're local, and he
Okay.
was on, and you can find them in, I think most of the grocery stores. Little Leaf, and it's all natural. He grows it up there, up in the northern part.
Okay.
And so that has helped me get more interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's an app? Apps and sides. Appetizers, right?
Yes.
Okay, what are those?
Yeah. Let's see. So I have a lot of different salad dressings.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like keeping with the oil-free, I do a lot of salad dressings that are oil-free, but they're not fat-free. So like if you go to the grocery store and you get a bottle of fat-free salad dressing, it's like slime.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
They're trying to they instead of using oil, they're using different fillers, and they're trying to get the same kind of consistency, but it ends up being like slime.
Yeah.
So I really don't like that. So again, like using nuts, it's giving it some fat,
Yeah.
but not nearly as much as if you used oil. So you get that same kind of creamy consistency.
Tahini, toasted sesame oil or
Right.
tahini. So that's not the same thing as olive oil in consistency.
No.
No.
Tahini is like it's like peanut butter, but it's made from sesame seeds instead of peanuts.
Probably very tasty too. I love peanut butter.
Yeah, it's great as a base for things. It helps also. That's another thing that you can use to make it creamy. Give it a creamy consistency.
This is with sesame noodle salad.
Mm.
Oh, you can top it with roasted peanuts, unsalted, chopped cilantro, minced scallions, sesame seeds.
Mhm.
This is a Thai larb salad. Never even heard of it. What is
Right.
that?
That's more of a traditional Thai salad. Usually it's a meat-based salad. So what I did was try and make the vegan version of that. And so there have been some private dinners that I've done where I've made that, and people are thrilled with that. You usually serve it in a little lettuce leaf. So yeah, that's a great one.
Do you get a lot of good feedback when people try what you do?
Yes, yeah.
If you're at a library, where would you make it? Right there on the table in front of everybody?
Yes, so I bring everything. When I'm at the library, I bring all my equipment. You don't need a kitchen or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I just have a table. I'll bring a blender. I'll bring ways to be able to heat things up if I need to. I bring an air fryer if that's what I'm using. But most of the people who come to the cooking classes that I do are not vegan. They're not vegetarian. They're usually just advertised as healthy fresh soups or something like that. It's not advertised as vegan. So when I teach the classes, it's mostly people who are not vegetarian who they just want more healthy recipes. They want more healthy food ideas. They may not necessarily be interested in being vegetarian or vegan. People will ask me a lot of questions, and it's a great environment where they can ask questions, and I'm not gonna why did you ask me that? I'm happy to answer any questions.
What about a hamburger? What do they call it? A vegetarian burger, veggie burgers.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of those?
Well, there's kind of two kinds right now, right? So
I don't know.
a lot of the restaurants now have the Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger. So those are plant-based, vegan or vegetarian burgers that are really trying to mimic the taste and the texture of meat.
How do they mimic it though? I think I tried it once. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. So even at Burger King, they have the Impossible Whopper now.
They do?
So they have, it's a vegan burger, or it's, I think it has cheese on it, so you have to ask for no cheese in order to make it vegan. But, so you have all of these options now, like Red Robin, Qdoba, Uno's, they all have these meat-like veggie burgers. They are, pretty highly processed. There's salt and all of that stuff. So from a health standpoint, it's better than meat, but still it's not great. That versus like a bean and whole grain based veggie burger. There's a lot of recipes in the book for things like that.
I like couscous and lentil.
Oh yeah,
lentil salad. You can get those packaged at the grocery store.
Sure. Yeah.
So sometimes instead of a regular generic salad, we'll mix a little of the couscous in with the. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a taste for it.
Yeah.
It's a nice mango mustard dressing. Oh God, what the heck? Oh,
sweet and sour together. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, we just talked burgers and balls. What is that? What is a system?
Yeah.
What is that now? Tell us.
So I make different veggie burger patties, with whole grains and beans and things like that. And by the way, the name, when I submitted the book to the publisher, I thought for sure they were going to change the name of that because I was just being cheeky, but they kept it. So
Meatballs. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, he's got so many recipes here. My favorite, what the heck is falafel? I've heard of this.
Falafel, yeah.
Falafel, what's falafel?
So that's a Middle Eastern, it's basically chickpea patty. Most of the time when you have it, it's deep fried. But, chickpeas and There's different herbs blended in, like maybe mint, cilantro, different things.
Yeah.
Different spices mixed in. So that's usually served as just little patties, like in a wrap or something.
So it's good.
Like
It's
that.
almost like a hamburger, right? Is there much my only concern is, will I get enough protein? I can't just keep eating eggs.
Yeah.
Will I get enough protein in just a veggie diet?
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to need it, because I really, I told you, I respond if I'm just living on carbs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it totally depends on how you do it. So, Oreos are vegan. There's a lot of junk food that's vegan. So,
Oreo cookies?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's...
Wait, what have I missed? I thought it was a lot of sugar.
Well, there's sugar. But, I mean, it is vegan, so...
Oh.
There's no dairy in it. No dairy or eggs or anything like
I didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah. So,
I thought anything like cookies and that's junk food, but no, right?
Well, it is... Oh, it's junk food. Absolutely. But it is vegan. So vegan doesn't necessarily mean the healthiest choice.
Okay.
But if you eat unprocessed and, skip the sugar and all of that, then, that's kind of what I try to do.
We're talking with Colin McCullough, and he is the author of the Healthy Vegan Cookbook, and he gives presentations. Okay, he is a chef. Where are you interested? If people are watching, and maybe they'd like to have you come to their facility. Where are you? What's your territorial thing? How far will you go to give a presentation?
I'm mostly just based in the area around central Massachusetts, but I've definitely gone into Boston and down to Providence, and
That's good. Do you have a job besides that during the day?
I do. Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a home energy auditor for the Mass Save program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that the one about? It's not about the what do you call those? Not skylights. The things up on the roof there to help.
The solar panels?
Yeah, solar panels.
No, the Mass Save program helps people save money on their electricity and their heating bills.
Well, I think you guys also come for free to the house.
Yes,
and
that's it.
I
Exactly.
think I've had that happen. It's a pretty cool thing, and they can tell you where you can start saving more money. People don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in just on passing and turning your heat down at night?
Yes.
That type of thing's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they say it's healthier, too. That's healthier. Colin, how can they reach you? Get your book and maybe you give a presentation. How can they reach you?
Sure. I have a website, colincooksvegan.com. So it's COLINCOOKSVEGAN.com. And so that has a calendar with all of the events that I do. And also I have a link to the site on Amazon to buy the book.
Yeah.
And also I do a lot of recipe videos, demonstration videos, just little 1-minute videos on how to make different recipes from the book. And then also I do announce a lot of events and things on Facebook as well. So
Do you go to Tatna? There's a nice big showroom there. Tatna over in Westboro?
I contacted them, but I need to follow up with them.
Oh, yeah, that there.
I think as far as cookbooks go, I'm wondering if maybe the bookstores, like, as far as presentations and having authors speak, then they don't know what to do with people who write cookbooks because
There's
it's
a whole
not a
presentation
fiction.
room in the back. You'd
Yeah.
love it. You could set up. It's big.
Mhm.
But now we've had artists put things up there, and they've got business. The BNI meets there, business networking, whatever.
Yeah.
They're pretty. I can help you out with that. I think as far as getting an answer back, it's
Right.
not easy over there. They're busy as bowls and sauces. Oh, like if you have Chinese. Oh, I love that mustard, that hot mustard.
Oh, yeah.
And then the sweet and sour. Not good for me.
Uh,
Don't say that. No, yes.
I actually have a sweet and sour sauce that's using all whole food
Okay.
ingredients, no sugar or anything like that.
All right, 185. You too can read this. 185. Can hear you. I think I just had it. Oh, God, I love that stuff.
One of the main focuses of the book is the bowls and sauces. It's that picture on the front of the book is
Yeah.
actually the toasted almond and ginger bowl, ginger miso sauce from the sauce.
That's not cheese, is it?
No,
Ugh.
oh no,
Okay.
no. So that's normally what I do for dinner is some kind of a whole grain bowl meal. So you have whole grain like brown rice or quinoa, something like that, with some beans, some tofu,
Yeah.
and some fresh veggies. So all of that is, kind of bland, maybe a little bit boring. It's really healthy, but it doesn't really taste fantastic. But then if you put a really good sauce on that, really delicious sauce, then, that's how I've always got my kids to come back for seconds because they really like that
They
sauce.
like it. I had a lot of garlic. They say garlic is good for you.
Yeah.
And also, they're pushing turmeric now
Mhm.
for anti-inflammation in the body. I sprinkle some of that on the salad, too.
Sure.
Can't go wrong, I don't think, unless they come up with something against those two. But garlic, I've always heard, sweet and sour, okay. And you can make teriyaki sauce.
Yes. Yeah.
Tamari, what is tamari called?
Tamari is very similar to soy sauce,
Yeah.
where soy sauce is a fermented mixture of different grains and beans and soy.
Yeah.
Tamari is 100% soy, so it's gluten-free.
What's mirin?
Mirin is a Japanese wine.
I like the way you combine the different cultures. This is interesting. I like Indian food.
Mm-hmm.
I especially like their desserts. I have looked at something and thought it looked good, but when I take it, it's kind of bland to me,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't think. I would think it being Eastern, then it would be more spicy.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you like to add a lot of spice to your recipes?
I like things to be really flavorful,
Mm.
but I'm not really huge into, hot spice.
Yeah.
So, I like it for a bit of an accent, but...
We're going to close with healthy snacks. Double chocolate, double peanut bites.
mhm.
Smashed roasted peanuts, a banana, cocoa powder,
Yep.
dates, cocoa nibs. What's a nib?
So, cacao nibs are what cacao powder is made from.
Yeah.
It's just like little pieces of pure chocolate.
Oh.
So it's not sweetened.
Yeah.
It's bitter by itself, but then you blend it in with
That's
the
good then.
dates, and that makes it
Graham
naturally
cracker
sweet.
crushed espresso powder. Espresso powder. That's coffee, isn't it?
It is espresso beans. So
beans.
yeah. So,
Sea salt. You like sea salt? Is that really better for us, you think, or not?
I like to use a salt called real salt that is from it is technically sea salt. It's from an ancient seabed out in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of minerals and extra that hasn't been stripped out like white salt has. But yeah, I use a little bit of salt when I cook.
I have never seen powdered peanut butter. Where do you find that?
You don't need that, but
No?
it is something that you can use. So it's basically a lot of supermarkets have it. That it is defatted peanuts.
Yeah.
So just ground peanuts
Powdered
with the
peanut.
fat.
Okay, you can't find that in the grocery store, right?
Yeah. Regular supermarkets have it. You probably have to ask for it.
Or then maybe in the natural food section.
If you go where the peanut butter is,
Yeah.
it might be there, or in the baking section as well. They might have it there.
Almond peanut butter. I've been getting into that. Chunky, you can get chunky or smooth.
Mhm.
Probably chunky's better for you. I'm not sure.
No, it's going to be the same either
It's
way.
costly, boy. It's a little bit more than a regular peanut
Right.
butter.
If you have a food processor, it's really easy to make yourself.
Smoothies out of that though too, right? You could put peanut butter in your smoothie, mix it with a little cocoa and peanut butter.
A blender.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make a smoothie, use your blender. But for making any kind of a nut butter, you could use a food processor. It's built for that. So
It's built
you
for
can do
that
it.
one.
Yep.
This has been interesting. Gosh. Colin McCullough, and you can get him online, get his book, and also you can get in contact with him to do a presentation showing you how to cook it all. You buy his book. Where are you going to appear in coming up?
Okay. Let's see. November 9th, I'm going to be at Plant City in Providence. So that's a group of different vegetarian restaurants under one roof. And they do a lot of cooking classes there. So I will be teaching a healthy desserts class there on November 9th. That's a Saturday at 1 p.m.
Be great to have you in the schools, go to the high schools and do this, because again, I mean, these kids are beginning to, what am I going to do in my life?
Yeah.
Or maybe they just want to eat healthier.
Well, the kids are more hip to this stuff than than the rest of us.
My son
actually.
would be. He
Yeah.
volunteered. There used to be a restaurant in Worcester, maybe you remember it. It went out of business. It was a very high-end restaurant. I can't think of the name of it. It was near the DCU Center.
Okay.
Italian, basically. I don't know. He volunteered. He was just a kid. He was in his teens. I said, well, you're interested in cooking. I called them and I said, hey, would you be interested in having a youngster who was interested in it? Sure, volunteer. So he
Okay.
volunteered for about a year. Then they said, we'll pay you by the hour.
All right.
This kid got $5 an hour,
Mhm.
but he learned how to put the salads together.
Sure.
He had fun, I think, in that back room. He's not an out in the front person, although he likes being in the back where the action is with the chef and everything.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Mhm.
Colin, thank you for being with us. And downstairs, pick up a copy. All right, pick up a copy of the Healthy Vegan Cookbook. It's worth it. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
See you next time.